Hey, I'm back. I'm talking to all you angry white men out there why we need to get Donald Trump in 2016. Now, I'm going to remind you that I told you to get out the vote for Mitt Romney a couple of years ago and you didn't do it. And we got stuck with Barack Obama again. And he's nearly turned this country into a communist caliphate. It's absolutely incredible the things he's done and the things he's gotten away with because what happened to angry white men? We're not getting our message across and we're not doing enough. Now, it figures that we haven't had a real good history lately with getting things done. For example, we lost the Civil War. That was kind of strange. I thought for sure that the South should have won that. That was an easy thing. And look what's happened. It's been a mess ever since. Then we allowed women to vote. That was horrifying. Then we gave black people the right to vote and civil rights and all that other stuff. Now we got to eat with them and sit on the bus with them and everything. And back in the day, you didn't have to do that just 50, 60, 70 years ago. You kept them across the railroad track, so to speak. And they knew their place. Now you got all these sassy women. You got black folks that don't know their place. You got all these yappy Latins running around in Spanish talking about you all the time because that's what they do. You got all these Asian people flying in and dropping anchor babies faster than, as fast as the planes can land at LAX and San Francisco. It's just craziness. And then Obama's bringing all these Muslims in from all over the world to come stay here. And he's giving them tens of thousands of dollars of free everything. Our money. Setting them up in houses and food and education and clothes and everything. I mean, it's like Christmas every day for those folks. And he's not making them immediately learn English. He's letting them take their time. He's not forcing them to sit home in the house until they've learned to speak English and then let them outside. Which is just wrong because how can you get along if you can't communicate with folks or understand folks? We don't need all these strange accents and stuff because if you work on it, I've seen plenty of these folks from other countries that learn to speak English without one of those funky foreign accents so you can actually understand them. And that's important. Now, this country was founded, and everybody says it was founded by the Indians. It wasn't founded by no Indians. It was founded by white folks. It was founded by white Christian people. And we came in and we built this country. It was not built before. I don't care what anybody says. It was white Christian folks that built this country. Now, some of the black people will say, yeah, but you did it with slave labor with blacks. Well, you know what? If you don't like it, go back to Africa. We'll help you get a visa. Maybe we should even buy you a ticket. I'm getting tired of this. This was hundreds of years ago. And we've given you all these rights, and what have you done with it? Nothing. Now, you're just fodder for police. We just shoot at you and kill you all the time. And you're still not getting the message that you're not particularly welcome. You've wear it out, you're welcome, and you need to go. And back in the 70s, we got a little encouragement because people started going back to Africa, and they had even developed a country of like expats from America. I think it's Liberia or something like that. And you established your own nation over there. So why don't you go fill it up? Stop bitching about everything. I mean, seriously. Stop bitching. Because y'all violent. Constantly. Not just with white folks, but you're violent against your own folks. So, seriously, you got a problem. If you can't figure it out and you can't fix it, you got to go. And a lot of black folks are converting from white Christianity to Muslimism. Now, then you're just a terrorist. All you black folks that became Muslims are just terrorists, all of y'all. Because we all know that the Muslim religion is very violent and encourages violence. And nowhere in our Bible do we have any kind of violence. We're just supposed to love one another. And that's what we do. But we're also allowed to stick up for ourselves. And we should start doing more of that. Now, and you sassy women, we gave you the right to vote. We gave you the right to own property. And you all just became hysterical. Now you're all sassy. You're demanding things left and right. You want to get paid equal for equal work and all that crap. You should just be staying home taking care of kids. And we should have a white male president that gets good jobs for white males so we can keep our women home. Taking care of the kids. Homeschooling. Because we don't want our kids out in the public getting brainwashed with all kinds of crazy ideas. I mean, seriously. Now, when it comes to Trump, which is the important part of why I made this video, when it comes to Trump, he is our man. First of all, he doesn't owe nothing to nobody. And all the other candidates owe things to somebody. Except maybe Bernie Sanders. So he's kind of the liberal version of Trump. But you have to be careful with that because then you're going to get all kinds of other folks with a voice. And we don't need that. We've been losing and losing and losing for too long. It's time for us to start winning again, because if we don't start winning again, we don't get rid of some of these folks, then suddenly we're going to be the minority, and then our whole life's going to change. And we're going to be the minority, and they're going to kick the shit out of us. So we got to stay in control. In control. Now, Trump's going to do that. And he's going to throw out all these Mexican folks and Latin folks and Central American folks. He's going to build a wall. He's going to make Mexico pay for it. He's going to stop these Asian women from flying over here and dropping children. He's going to keep all the Muslims out, and he's going to kick Muslims out. And the ones that are still here, that are citizens that he can't kick out, he's going to put a GPS tracker or something on so he knows what they're doing. And monitor them, because they need that. They need monitoring. I mean, they're violent. They're crazy. And we don't need, like, all these other religions in this country. We don't need all that. I mean, we started out right. We were burning witches and stuff. And we were not tolerant of Indians' beliefs. We made them convert to Christianity because that's the right thing to do. Historically, we have gone all over the world and forced people to learn Christianity. Sadly, we got in a fight with the French, so we couldn't force our English language on everybody. That's just a sad fact. Otherwise, we dominate. Totally dominate. We would have been more popular than England. Because we're such wonderful people here. So civilized. So sweet and generous and thoughtful and loving and God-fearing and Bible reading and everything. Now, Trump is going to throw out the Mexicans, build a wall. He's going to stop the Asians from coming and dropping their anchor babies with their funky belief structures and whatever. And he's going to keep the Muslims out. And he's going to send whatever is back here out, which is a good idea. I mean, and then they got these other folks, like these Indians from India, and they have some kind of other religion, and they're, what even is that? Nobody even knows what that is. I know that they fight violently with the Muslims, so it's kind of okay, but they're very violent. So they fight with Muslims in a very violent way. They also rape women. Constantly. They're constantly gang raping. Now, why would we want a bunch of Indians over here as doctors and lawyers and everything else gang raping women? Seriously. They might be on visas, but they're gang raping. Just gang raping. It's crazy. Pick up the news. Read. It's mind-blowing. And we wouldn't have this drug problem if it wasn't for all these Latin folks, because you know the Latin folks are selling drugs to themselves and the black folks. And that's why we have a drug problem in this country, because Nancy Reagan told us to stop years ago. So all the white folks, we stopped. We just said no. And we're still saying no. But other people are saying yes. It's amazing. Now, white folks, white men, it's time to get angry. Donald Trump will do whatever we say. And if you look at the media, every time they try to beat him up when he speaks the truth, us real Americans just get angrier and more for Donald Trump. So the more crap they say about him, the stronger you should be supporting him. Because obviously we've hit a nerve. And that means we're doing the right thing. If we're hitting the lamestream media and they're getting upset, then we're doing the right thing. We're getting back control. And Donald Trump is doing that more than anybody. And then you got the irony of these late night comic shows where they make fun of him all the time about being politically incorrect, but they do it in a politically incorrect way. It's offensive. It's just horrible. What happened to comedy? I mean, don't remember the good old days of George Carlin pushing the envelope? Absolutely. He was funny. And he was white. Now, I want y'all to look and listen and be very careful. Because don't believe all these media things. They're just made up to get rid of Trump. And they're being made up a lot, not even by the Democrats. They're being made up by the GOP establishment, which is what we're trying to get rid of. Because we've been voting for that for a long time, and they have not been producing the results that we want and that we need. So you got to get them into office, because the GOP establishment does not want him there, because they'll lose their power. And the fact is, they've misused their power for so long, we're finished with them. They don't deserve our vote anymore. So, Donald Trump, and encourage Donald, get on Twitter, encourage him, get on Facebook, get on YouTube, get on everywhere, and tell Donald Trump to keep it going. Keep it angry, keep it loud, keep it wide open, truthful, just lay it out there. And let the rest of the world just deal with that. Because, you know what? Donald Trump doesn't have to get specific. Because if he gets specific, then all our enemies will know what we're doing. So if you know what Donald Trump says, he says something, but he doesn't get specific. Because that way, people like the Russians and the Chinese and the Mexicans and all this kind of stuff, we don't want to give them a heads up about what's really coming. We just want to be vague and let them know that something's coming and they ain't going to like it. And let them fuss over it for a while. Maybe they'll pull their head out of their ass and realize who's boss. We are. Just like ISIS and all these other crazy assholes down in the Middle East, all these brown folks, all these Boko Haram, black folk in Africa killing each other and all this kind of stuff. We're going to put an end. Donald Trump will put an end to all of that. All of it. He's having none of it. And he's going to take their oil for putting an end to it. As payback for having to take the effort to put everything to an end and make everything like we are. Because we're the greatest nation on earth. God said that. We've been told that our whole life, that God's been saying that. And we need to own that. And we need to act like that. And we need to be brave like that. And we need to be honest like that. Because our Bible has no violence. It's love. But we also get a right to stand up for ourselves if we get pushed. and we're getting pushed. So, get out there, get your friends on board, tell your grandma, tell your best friend, tell them to tell their grandma and best friend, and everybody get out there and vote Trump, vote Trump, vote Trump, talk good about Trump, tell them the message, play the video, do whatever you got to do to get them on board, because if we lose this time, this might be the last time. Just saying. Talk to you later.